This is a video about my first date ever at 20 years old, and I am a 20-year-old virgin. And this video is gonna practically kind of just go into what I have learned at my age and what I have learned experiencing a first date ever as a 20-year-old, almost 21. And yeah, man. So I met this girl off of an online dating app, Hinge, and the reason for me kind of like downloading Hinge in the first place was because I saw a video of Austin Dunham. He had a YouTube short, and it was a way of going ahead and editing your photos into making them look more professional. And I made my photos way much more better, and I wanted to go ahead and test them because I wanted validation. No, I did not catfish the person, and no, and yes, this is some foreshadowing of what's going to be told. But yeah, I got to messaging her, um, and the thing that she ended up liking my picture first in the first place. I actually remember when I downloaded Hinge, probably around four, like around November of last year. She was still there and she liked my picture before, but I just didn't say anything to her, because I thought she was from some other place, like out of my city, out of my reach. But this time I ended up responding to her, and she had a thing in her messaging, in her one of her prompts, and saying that she never met a guy who never has had double her energy before. I mean, matched her energy, and I said, I bet I could go ahead and double that energy easily, and I still believe that to this day. But yeah, the messages started to go really. It kicked off there. Um, she asked for my Snap, and I said I don't have Snapchat. And she started sending me like multiple like messages saying she's getting off of work and stuff like that. And she ended up sending me her number. And the thing with messaging her was that it wasn't difficult. It was more so she was actually kind of interested in me and kind of wanted to go ahead and get a chance to go ahead and know me. And I got her number, and she started to message me a lot, a lot, a lot. And she, we ended up just going back and forth, like the basic things that you do when you first start texting a girl. And yeah, she started texting me like random things about like random things how she was feeling, um, random things how she was feeling about her job, random things how she was feeling about her school and stuff like that. And to be honest, I didn't know how to respond to that. Um, and a huge problem with me is that a huge thing I have really this really learned with her is just to go ahead and be like authentic. Um, and at the time too, I was really like locked into school, so I couldn't be. It's kind of a struggle to go ahead and message her and and also like do my schoolwork. I am someone who is kind of done with the text buddy stuff, and that I kind of only message to go ahead and only like, meet up in person. And if we're not willing to go ahead and do that, if we're just being texting buddies, I have had multiple. I have that has been majority of my experiences with girls before is that I'll just text them back and forth, but we'll never eventually land on a date. And yeah, there were some things I just didn't know how to go ahead and respond to her. Um, and I felt like I was more cold in that way, and that as compassionate. And she said she wanted someone else compassionate, like in her like one of her prompts too. But it's that's all cool. But yeah, I really like that with her messaging and me messaging her. Um, that we did not it did not end up going like very sexual in the messages, and that we did not send each other like pictures. We didn't ask demand for each other for pictures to go ahead and yank off to. We didn't for her not she that sounded kind of weird, but we didn't ask for pictures that way. And usually a lot of online dating apps, messaging starts to go ahead and just start to trend towards that way. And with her, it did not. And that's something I really liked I really liked with her. Um, but yeah, we ended up agreeing on a we ended up agreeing on a date. Ended up shooting out. She asked for my availability, and what's crazy too is I put my YouTube channel, like my YouTube channel name, um, as my work, as my employee thing, and she actually found my channel. And if you know, like my casoops channel, it has some pretty dark stuff on it. And also too, I can't forget the messages too. She really wanted to go ahead and like really know me about my channel and stuff like that. She was like really curious, and that was the first time I ever saw like a girl like really like admired my work, and that I don't really care in expressing my failures, expressing the things I did wrong. She said she admired that, and we ended up having like a 2 hour phone call before like about a week before we went on a date. And yeah, she on this phone call we ended up talking about multiple things. We ended up talking about what the heck? Um, we ended up talking about my YouTube channel. We ended up talking about school. Um, we ended up talking about so many like random topics and stuff like that. And that was like a 2 to 3 hour phone call. That's the most I ever legitimately um, talked with a girl before via phone. And yeah, we really got deep in that phone call. And bro, I was completely nervous to go ahead and pick up the phone. I was nervous. Like I can't lie. Like I was nervous during that phone call. I was nervous setting up the date a little bit because it's something that I have never did before. And I legitimately like never felt this amount of interest from a girl before. Or I mean I know that there has been plenty of girls that have been interested in me, but me actually like accepting them, like actually me actually like like complying with them, and me actually like giving my attention to, and me not being as shy a little bit, I was able to go ahead and um and accept her attention that she gave me. And at that time too, I was on my semen retention journey. And do I equate semen retention to that? No, I don't. But yeah, she ended up calling one of her. She ended up telling me about her friend and stuff like that. She put her friend on the call too. I was a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and eventually, we ended up scheduling the date, and I ended up arriving there first. Um, and this is really like the meat and bones of this story here is when I kind of like see her like the first time in person, I'm not as shocked as she was like presented on the dating app. Obviously, her photos like were okay, um, but it wasn't like a clear sign of her like her like what she actually like fully looked like. And when I got a chance to talk to her and stuff like that, I realized, and this is something that really happens to me a lot with girls in general, is that I imagine them being better in my mind than what they actually are in person. I imagine them being on this super high pedestal, but in reality, they're not really all that, and they're just a human being, and that they're not like super like they're not super crazy. And that's something that I really struggled with in high school, is that I a lot of crushes I had in high school, I was so nervous to the point where I couldn't I legitimately could not look at the girl that I like in their face. I legitimately had no idea what some of my crushes looked like in their face, because how shy I was to go ahead and look at them. How shy I was to go ahead and give that sense of feeling that I potentially like her. I was so shy in doing that. So shy in doing that. And because of that, I usually like paint the picture of this girl being a super attractive, fine girl. But when I actually get her, or when I actually just don't really care, I start to realize that she's not really like all of that what I painted her to be inside of my imagination. And that's what happened with this girl on this date, is my first date, which is still my only date as of right now. I really realized that she really wasn't like all of that, right? She wasn't like, her beauty wasn't like mind blowing, right? Um, I believe I came more better like presented and stuff like that, and the fact that I believe I dressed better. I believe I came more presentable. I wasn't like fresh up with my haircut and stuff like that. So we both had like had stuff there a little bit, but she came more, I assume, more at casual clothing compared to me. Um, yeah, so we I got there first, and we just ended up just talking a little bit for each other. There's like this amazing like 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 theater area. It's like an outdoor theater area at the location I was at. We just ended up talking there for a little bit. And the thing with me, I have to go ahead and state too, is that I have invested a lot of my money into businesses. I have not been smart with my money. I have been prioritizing me being young and me taking risk, and I have made poor decisions like financially, which is I should have got a job after high school. I don't have like a currently real job, and I don't currently have a car as well, and transportation as well. And that's continuing on to the story, which I do feel like that's something I just have to go ahead and improve on my end. I feel like that's something more so I just have to do on my end, and that's like the only kind of just thing I need. I can't say I need to do better, because if I say I need to do better, I put that huge importance on it. But something that is going to be better in the future, that will be better in the future. But yeah, I was planning to go to an ice cream place. I guess she wasn't really feeling for that. So she got kind of changed it up. She kind of wanted more like real food. She wanted like food. So we ended up going like Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. I ended up buying the food for her. She did end up offering to buy the food for me. And I feel like she also did play like the little game of her saying, uh, she has like no money. Like in the messaging before the date, she says she kind of had like she's like broke or something like that, and like I don't know. And I said I could go ahead and cover it, and she in the same day, yeah, I could go and come. Um, we should go ahead and take that as it is. But yeah, we ended up going to Chick-fil-A and eating there. I got her food. Um, I wasn't aware of like sharing utensils with a random like person or girl, especially. She wanted me to eat like she got some mac and cheese, and she wanted me to go ahead and like finish it out for her. No, that might sound a little wrong there, but that might sound like super dirty right there. But yeah, I didn't know how to go ahead and do that, man. Also, too, man, I did not hug her when I first met her. Um, like eye contact wise, because I really realized that she wasn't really like all that, and that made up in my imagination to be a little bit. And I like had no problems with communicating, talking to her and stuff like that. Uh, I felt like maybe I had to carry the conversation a little bit more, but that was that, and that was in terms of that. But overall, though, with communication, I didn't do that as bad, and I'm glad I didn't do as bad. I did pretty well for my first date in terms of communication. So we ended up eating a Chick-fil-A, going back to the car, looking a little confused and stuff like that. This place that we went at, it was a place that the train stops at, and a place that's just relatively pretty close by to her. The place that we ended up going on a date is probably like at least like an hour, 15 minutes away from me and stuff like that. But yeah, she ended up driving me there to Chick-fil-A, which I kind of just don't like. Um, I feel like I could have been more of a better gentleman, in my opinion. And we got to the Chick-fil-A. She opened the door for me, which I don't like. Dude, I don't like that. Um, I felt I could have done really better with this showing to go ahead and like care for her a little bit. Even though like I got on a date with her, like I could go ahead and just like really like talk about like some of the things that were kind of a little bit red, like things that kind of just like turned me off a little bit. And I didn't know she vaped. That that's something that I just don't mess with. Just I don't want to feel like I have to go ahead and have like this girl is just gonna go ahead and be like a project for me. I'm not at a point where I'm trying to go ahead and like get girls to a point where I have to go ahead and really encourage them to get like into a gym, to go ahead and like encourage them to go ahead and stop smoking. Like my standards are not that high in terms of that. Um, but yeah, she did that too, and also too, with her pictures on her profile picture, um, she had a cross picture, right? She had a cross necklace, right? And she was more so trying to show off like her racks, like was she bringing to the sexual market and stuff like that. And I believe that if you're a true devoted like Christian, and you're devoted to religion and stuff like that, you're not gonna go ahead and display it like that. I feel like you're trying to go ahead and attain attention through that. You're trying to project that you're that good, that Christian person, but you're also have it in between your chest, and dudes are looking there. Dudes are thinking with lustful minds, and unfortunately, I felt like those pictures weren't in the right clear like headspace. But also, too, she's like 19. She's young. I'm young too. I'm 20, so I don't mess with that. Also, too, she was trying to show off a a booty picture too. I try to get the, the pictures that show off the butt too and stuff like that. I felt like she was really trying to search for a lot of like male validation too. She has had more dating experience than me. She had a boyfriend before. She has lost her V card before, so I could it's all that too. She drinks too, so I'm not cool. I'm cool with the alcohol and stuff like that. That's something to work with. Um, but yeah, it seems like mentally she wasn't there. I don't feel like mentally she's not probably okay with her past a little bit, and that is something that I don't know what to go ahead and just really think of. Um, I feel like she was really like coping with her past and stuff like that. And also too, this was around like this is relatively around Valentine's Day too. I feel like she sees her other friends, her other girlfriends having like boyfriends and stuff like that too, and feels like obligated to go ahead and get one a little bit. That's just something that we all just do. But yeah, going back more to like the date story too is that yeah she parked in the parking garage, right? And you know I'm about to get like get to the point to this. So um, we end up saying I end up saying like yeah let's go ahead and walk because there's like some like little bit of a river of where the location is. It's right next to the train too, so train station river, um, cool. And yeah, she ends up taking the car to the third level of the parking garage, and I'm looking. I'm like, okay, thought we were gonna go ahead and walk around to the water and stuff like that. Um, and I got I got like the camera and stuff, and we started just listening to music, and yeah, and she ends up like kind of like wrapping her hair in the back and put like the clip and stuff like that. Um, and she ends up putting like some gum in her mouth and stuff like that. And you know what she's trying to go ahead and signify. She wants to down there, and and I, I had so many thoughts, man, going through my mind. I got bricked up multiple times during that date. Um, I had no protection either, too. I didn't have no balloon, so I don't know. I didn't. I didn't want to go ahead and lead down that path right away off the first date. I didn't want to go ahead and have a hookup, but yeah, we ended up getting in that mood. I just had to go ahead and escalate. Well, I felt like I honestly don't know if she was a girl worth escalating on. And because the smoking a little bit, the vaping, um, I don't know. I felt like there's maybe a little bit lack of self care. I don't know if I'm 100% right on that. Um, Sorry for saying a lot. I feel like there probably was a little bit lack of self care within her, and that's crazy, man. Like the amount of times I think that girls are like perfect and stuff like that because I have zero experience with girls is completely mind blowing. But yeah, I honestly did not think I wanted to go ahead and lose it to this girl. It was awkward, bro. I had to go ahead and tell her I had to go ahead and leave. Um, and I ended up hugging her a little bit. I ended up telling her I'm sorry for being like a little cold and stuff like that. I felt like I didn't give her the attention that she was probably kind of like hoping for a little bit. And the thing with the red pill too, like you think about these dating philosophy too, is that you believe that if you like give like that lack of attention to the girl, that she will go ahead and crave you more, and start chasing you more, which could still work 100%. But um, yeah, she was the one too, who who asked to go ahead and go on the second date, and this train's about to go ahead and come. She was the one that ended up asking for me to go on the second date, and when I got to like I we're going back and forth with the music, and I got a chance to go ahead and look at her aux or look at her phone. I saw like messages. I think I saw messages from dudes in there. I've never seen hey or heart emojis and stuff like that. Like that's gonna happen on online dating apps, but yeah, um, that's gonna happen on online dating apps. But that is something that I just had so many red flags with her too, man. I feel like she was not the girl for me. I was watching a lot of red pill videos at the time too, and she said she was gonna go on like a trip where where one of her girls to like Nashville to go ahead and watch some concert and stuff like that. I felt like, man, if I got in a relationship with this girl, that she probably would have most likely not have been loyal to me, and a lot of my friends really stated um, that I should go ahead and still pursue her, and I believe that I shouldn't. But yeah, man, a lot of my friends said to go ahead and pursue her, but I really felt like I shouldn't have. I ended up giving my availability to her. I ended up telling her I couldn't do it the other week because I had to go ahead and exam and stuff like that. Or no, she said that week, because I think it was like 2 weeks before. Um, she one of her friends were coming from out of town and stuff like that, so not this week. And the other week I had my final exam, and I couldn't do nothing with her that week. And she said she was like feeling sick, under the weather a little bit, and she'll let me know. I wait. I give it a week. I set on my availability again. Got ghosted, and yeah, man. I don't know why I kind of felt like still pursuing that girl a little bit, even though I believe that she wasn't the best. She's not the best option available. I don't like to say that I'm being mean in that way. I just don't want to go ahead and settle for that. Not that her. And yeah, man, I learned a lot with her. I'm very grateful for her. I'm very grateful for the things that she has taught me. I'm very grateful for what she has blessed me to be able to go ahead and learn, and what I can do better as an individual to go ahead. And when I go on dates with girls I go on dates with a girl that could potentially be the girl for the rest of my life, I know what to do now, right? And I did not end up losing my V card to a girl. I did not end up losing my V card to a girl that did not really mean anything in the first place. So that's that, man. I'm glad I didn't lose my V card to a girl that wasn't like all of that too. And I'm very grateful that I did get the opportunity to go ahead and do that. And that was like one pro benefit of online dating that's for me. And just knowing that I have self-worth, but I also do struggle with validation with girls, and I really struggled with not receiving the validation from her. um, I more so wanted the validation from her than actually to go ahead and be with her, unfortunately. And that's just not the way to go ahead and live life. um, I felt like I had regrets. Of course I regret I should have went ahead and did that with her, but I glad I didn't, man. um, I'm real glad I didn't. But yeah, this is a great way just to let off for. I'm sorry, this is. And I don't expect anyone to watch this video because how long it is. But man, I had so many regrets just like with her. Um, like not so many regrets. I don't have any regrets with her, but I just wish I had her attention. Like I'll be honest. Um, and I felt like it was more of a competition between each other than actually kind of like really like loving each other from my perspective. And that is just a way not to go ahead and live life. That's not the way to go ahead and build a relationship with a girl. And I'm learning this at 20 years old. 20. This is my first date at 20 years old, and this is long overdue. But I've gotten experience, man. And if you're gonna use an online dating app and you have zero experience, that's the best way to go ahead and use it. But just remember, like a huge core concept of maybe probably why you're using online dating apps in the first place, and why I kind of just did search for validation in the first place, is that yeah, I'm searching for validation off of online dating app. That's the reason why I downloaded the online dating app. That's the reason why I put those new pictures on there on the online dating app, is to get validation. And and the to determine my worth. And I felt like I did determine my worth, and I fell down, man. I fell down, but that is gonna happen, and I'm glad that I'm realizing that that is a problem for me, and I'm ready to go ahead and address it. Thank you for watching. If you did watch this video, peace.